Hello, welcome to Divinely Genuine. My name is Michelle Ochoa, and this is your full moon in Virgo reading where we're going to go into all of the signs. I do it by the ascendant or rising sign. If you don't know your rising, feel free to comment below and I can help you get that. Or you can go by your sun sign. So today, Saturday, the 27th of February. Wow, this year's like zoom. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Crazy, crazy intense times. Hope you're on a happy side of your journey. And it can be a bit crazy going through all of this awakening and having to, it can be a lot on the mental health, the process of all of this, a lot of like patterns, subconscious patterns come up and like fears and just weirdness. And if you feel like you need to emotionally release or cry or be angry or whatever it is, however you do, what I've noticed is that more light can come in, as we release. So don't be afraid. And things that are on your mind, projects you've been meaning to do, like all of that starts to like become weight we're carrying. So free that. Free your mind and the rest will follow. Okay, so this full moon, I'm going to talk a little bit about it. Let's see what's going on with this. So this full moons, they build up, the energy builds up. The sun and the moon are face to face, and the sun is illuminating the moon, kind of like a powerhouse. And so the sun is in Pisces, where the heart space is spiritually connected and surrendering and not worrying and going with the flow. And the moon is in Virgo, which would rather be like in Pisces. But it's in Virgo where it's wanting to serve and purify things in a very detailed way. And so emotionally, it can be where we feel like we want to work and get things done. We want to organize. We want to just, have a plan and get it all situated is the energy of that. So this can speak to a lot of things. It can speak to like kind of us like redoing and letting go and because it is like a letting go full moon, right? Like it's peaked and then we're going to release. And this has to do with like subconscious patterns and spiritual things and beliefs and that kind of thing that we're letting go of or that has peaked. And or whatever it is you feel is going on in your life that's not supporting you. And it can be, a lot of it is our mind, when dealing with the moon, it's our mind which rules the emotions. And we don't want to we don't want to become lunatics, right? That's how the word lunatic came about. If we're too emotioned and too governed by the moon or the mind, then everything can just get out of whack because we're not operating from the sun or the soul. Okay, so this full moon, I recommend maybe having, since it's Pisces and Virgo, having like a spiritual connection, ceremony, intention. Pray to God, pray to, sit in meditation and connect. And then with Virgo, have a plan. Like, okay, this is what I'm releasing, these subconscious patterns that I've seen myself doing. This is how I'm serving. Virgo's wanting to serve and purifying my life by getting away from this subconscious pattern. Or this way that I'm escaping. Pisces is like escaping to alcohol or drugs or sex or whatever it is, infatuation, because it's dreamy, right? And it's illusion, and it's like it can get lost in the Neptune vibe. So Virgo balances it out. It's opposite and brings it back to reality. And it's like, okay, well, nothing's going to happen unless you don't get to work and get a plan. And so that's what I think it is getting out of the illusion, letting go of illusions and all of that, and holding on to, what you want to create dream-wise and having to do with your spiritual path and just coming up with a plan of how you're serving and how you can better purify your life to get to that point. Because then, astrology, it's just the clock. And so then it's going to flow, the moon will flow to, from Virgo to Libra. And that's really highlighting relationships right now. And then it's going to go on and on. So we want to flow with it, right? So have the plan and then just, go with it. And the moon's very fast, right? And governs our emotions. But, looking at all the things, the sun and all of that. Let's look at the aspects for this full moon. So we've got the sun and Venus in Pisces making a sextile over to Uranus and Taurus. So that's nice. So that will be like maybe some pleasant, unexpected gifts that come. Some easy flow of like downloads or epiphanies or knowledge that you're just like, oh, wow, just come to you. Which is really cool and makes sense for like a peaked energy of the moon because it does have to do with the mind. We have Uranus making a trine over to the moon as well. So that seems to be, nothing is an accident when you're looking at the stars, and so that seems quite beautiful. That our emotions are really going to get an upgrade having to do with our heart space and our relationships and our spiritual life because it's Pisces. And it'll be things that bring us pleasure and in our practical environment, also in the way we're serving and having to do with our health. So, and don't think you're missing out on anything. Don't expect it to look a certain way, just go with what's available. So Mars is trining over to Pluto still. And so I like that a lot because it's our passion for what we want in our physical environment that makes us feel good, how we're trying to achieve like feeling good, what's making us feel good that we're going towards, like I feel good like wearing this dress and wearing, the way I have my hair, my makeup in the background and doing this video for you guys. I feel like I'm doing my light work and my service by spreading the knowledge and the awareness of astrology. It's very key. It's been life-changing and liberating for me. And that brings me pleasure, And, I downloaded an app today for some music and have, just whatever you're finding that you're taking action towards that's bringing you pleasure. And of the bigger plans is nice too, being that Pluto is in Capricorn and Capricorn is building the structures and Pluto is transforming that. So it's like Pluto's this intensity and intimacy and transforming what we're taking action towards to feel good. So what are we building to feel good? And then we've got all that Aquarian energy, which is like the Aquarian party, And so, a lot of us are disconnected and independently doing our thing, and I think most people are, but, if you're able to get with a tribe and have that community support, Aquarius also represents community and the humanitarian, and that's big right now with Jupiter expanding that and Mercury there, and we're thinking and communicating about that, and then Saturn bringing those karmic relationships. And but we can we can place ourselves anywhere, like I like to travel all the time, so it's kind of like I can get along with anyone, but am I gonna stay long enough to build anything? So Saturn is squaring Uranus and Venus and Jupiter. They're all still squaring Uranus. So again, like with that, for me, I feel like, I just feel like, I don't like to speak things like over like what could happen that would be like explosive or something crazy like that. And I don't even like to say that, but it's just that Uranus is very unexpected and random, and squares are very like edgy and like there's a oomph to it, And then with Saturn being karmic and Jupiter expansive and Mercury of the mind, it's just very odd, I mean, the mind to communications, so maybe it's like things on the news. I don't, it's hard to predict with Uranus really, but it's definitely having to do with the people and us feeling good and random out of nowhere. But it's restrictive, so maybe it's just like hard for us to really feel good because of what is in place right now. That seems to be accurate. So we've got Neptune squaring this moon. I mean, opposing this moon as well, which is Neptune is opposing the moon, so that's just kind of like well, it's like emotionally, are we going to like have that dream, Are we going to have those spiritual connections? They can feel a bit restricted with the moon. So all in all, I would say that the pluses with this moon are definitely that Sun, Venus sextile to Uranus, where out of nowhere, unexpected things make us feel good in a spiritual way. And having to do with our service to others, our health, and our practical environment with the trine to Uranus. And that as we take action towards what is intense and intimate for us and transform it, it helps us to really build with what's making us feel good right now. Now I want to go through the signs with you guys. So we're going to start with Pisces, right? So Pisces, with the Sun and Venus in your sign, and this moon in your partner house, partnerships of all types, that's the focal point. That's where it's the focal point is, yourself, your heart space, and the relationships that are like-minded with Venus there, and how you feel good, spiritually connected, and your partnerships that are where there's a common interest to serve spiritually, having to do with maybe health and wellness. So for you, yeah, it's your heart's expression and emotional relationships that feel right. Okay? And let me go ahead and draw a card. What card do I want to do for this reading? Well, it is a full moon, so I will use this. I'll use this goddess deck. And I am offering tarot readings today for donation based, and you get a free moon sign reading that I have composed and emailed to you. And yeah, so you can comment below, message me on Instagram at healinghearts32, or on Facebook Messenger Divinely Genuine. And I would love to do a tarot reading for you for this full moon, a personal one, where you can ask any question you like, and you get that free moon sign reading. And the tarot is just donation based through like Venmo, PayPal, that sort of thing. Okay, so let's see. So Pisces, actually, Spirit, thank you for Saturday's full moon. Thank you for all who are here that will be able to gain awareness and to understand there's more than we've been told, that astrology and tarot can confirm and give so much light and awareness to our lives and to our evolution. And God, I ask that you'd give me 12 cards for the 12 signs, starting with Pisces, ending at Aries, for this full moon in Virgo. Thank you. All right, one more. All right, so let's see what Pisces got. Oop. Ah. Oop, ah. Pisces, you have the Prince of Swords. So this is like the Prince is, it's similar to the Page. It's like the Knight who's coming in with a new idea, moving towards you with a new idea. Okay, so it is an air sign. And we do have all of that Aquarius energy in your 12th house. which can be speaking to, maybe you get a spiritual download, a spiritual message from spirit, or it could, be something to do with home, family, and tribe, with the Gemini air and the Gemini North Node in your 4th house. And then we have Libra, which is the other air sign, and that's in your 8th house. And so it can speak to a message that's spiritual, of full family, soul, tribe in an intimate way, okay? So I definitely think that taking time to meditate can really connect you to a powerful message to get that Prince of Swords. All right, so focus on yourself and what your heart says, Pisces, and what emotionally feels right for your relationships this full moon. And then too, you're going to be, it's releasing what subconscious patterns you may be doing with your partnerships and bringing it back to your own heart space. All right, Pisces. And then we're going to go to Aries. So Aries, this full moon for you is highlighting your 12th house of letting go, what relationships and how you're feeling good, and what's not resonating with the soul, what's not soul connecting, and with your work environment and how you're serving or able to serve. Are you emotionally in it the way you're serving? Are you doing a job that you're really not, it's not really emotionally benefiting you? It may be detrimental to your health. And so it's really about letting that go, letting those emotions go. Can you look at it differently? Do you need to find a new job? And or do you need to also, just connect more your heart to spirit, as that is part of this for you? And are you doing what you're called to do as well? So for you, with the Sun and Venus in your 12th house, it's going to move the nodes to your 3rd house, which is, you want to make sure that you're communicating, right, Aries ascendant? Make sure you're communicating with energies that are twin-like, soul connected, staying playful and changing it up, Maybe you've been, focused more on the romantic part with these South nodes in Sagittarius, and maybe you, play a game of ball with them, do some baseball or whatever it is. But with this in your spiritual house, the Venus and Sun, I would say that you definitely want to take time to connect to spirit, to do something new, go with the flow, play some different music. We stay progressive when we try new things, right? And again, if it's not emotionally connected for how you're serving in your work or job, release those emotions by changing your mind or changing what you're doing. And yeah, so let's see, what card do you have, Aries? So you have the 5 of Wands reversed. Now the 5 of Wands upright is oppositions, passionate, opposing sides. And so reversed, I read that as being like your passions are conflicting, and maybe this has to do with your spiritual life and your work life, or how you're communicating 3rd house with the nodes, and maybe you're wanting to travel or do foreign affairs. You need to keep things local right now. You need to follow that North node, not the South node. So if that's part of the conflict, is like you're feeling pulled, especially with past relationships or intense love relationships, into like foreign areas. Like if the foreign area is your local inner world, cool. If it's like overseas and that kind of thing, like I don't think that's really supported right now, because the South node can pull us back. And but whatever the opposing passions are, if it's your job and your belief systems, We want to just realign, you know, take some time to sit with spirit, sit with your heart, and, you know, sit with yourself and just think about, let the mind like really process, okay, where am I serving? Where am I giving? How do I have a plan? And what is this opposing fire that's going on within me? You do have Chiron in your sign right now, which can, you know, bring some healing elements to it. It is a healing time for all of us. And then Mars is squaring Venus still. I didn't mention that for the moon, but it is squaring Venus. And so that's probably some of the passionate restriction. You know, that's your ruling planet. And that's how we're relating and feeling good, Venus. So let go, figure it out, the opposing passions. And if it's other people, like, and as long as you have your opinion, because you're Aries, be careful that you're not rushing into it with anger or rage or being too much of the fool, but rush into it with courage and stay in your truth, right? And then we're going to go to Taurus, and we got a perfect card for Taurus. Queen of Pentacles. So, Taurus, you know how to feel good, you know how to enjoy life. And I hope you're doing okay right now. Excuse me one second, let me plug up my phone, guys. With just everything being so weird with COVID, like I feel like it's the people with Taurus energy that may be affected, because it's like, I want to feel good. Why can't I go shop, or why can't I just go eat here or there without, you know, wearing a mask? And maybe you like the mask, some people do. But you are, it's a perfect card for you. You're in your value and your self-worth, and you're holding that regal queen element of the pentacles, which is our ability to feel good in the physical environment, to bear fruit, to nurture others around us. You know, it's fulfilling with all the food and the flowers and the smell goods and the comforts, and very giving, and she knows her value and worth. And so for you, Taurus, this full moon is going to be highlighting your 11th house of, with the sun and Venus there, of your goals, groups, and friendships, your humanitarian causes. And this is also any online groups, okay? So 11th house, and then it's really romantic for you, actually. The moon in Virgo is in your 5th house, and that's romance. It's also, you know, creative projects and children. Excuse me. It's the house that rules our soul and our heart. And so having the moon in Virgo there, sorry, I'm so fidgety. Having the moon in Virgo in your 5th house, it's emotionally connecting to what's of your heart, passions, and inspiration. Like, if it's a relationship, is it spiritually connected? It must be spiritually connected for you, because it's Pisces, right? You got to have that spiritual connection. If you guys are like zoning out, getting high, like escaping, like that's another Piscean thing, but we want to pull it back to the light, right? We want to make it, you know, get with the spiritual connections or music or, you know, more healthier ways. And to each their own, do what you do, but that's what's available with those energies, right? And so it's a great time to feel good in your relationships, with your heart space, spiritually connected, spiritual relationships, and emotionally connecting to what inspires you and speaks to your heart, and your values and self-worth and all of that are right on point for you, Taurus. Now the North Node is in your 2nd house, which is your ruling house, and so this speaks to communicating your values to those partnerships that have come in that are twin-like. Gemini's the twins, you know. We want to be open, open hands, right? And you know that Taurus. Taurus is very giving and very loyal and always like give, give, give. Like all the Taurus I know, they keep going and giving, and I'm just like, oh. But they know how to pace themselves to be able to see it through, right? You have Uranus in your sign. And so that can like really out of nowhere like change the energy for you, like upgrade you out of nowhere. Like things come and it'll change your self identity, right? And yeah, so I think that's all I really have for you for this full moon. Yeah. Well, we have that Mars trining Pluto and Mars in your sign. And so it's really taking action for yourself, Taurus. And then, let's see. Think about where it's at. Sorry. And that would be Aries. And that would be Pisces is the 11th, Aquarius, 10th, and 9th. And so it would be taking action, for self with what you're building in foreign places. Foreign places, higher university, and with what feels good. Okay. All right, moving on to Gemini. Gemini, we have the Four of Swords for you. It's like take all of that mental energy and go freaking lay down and go to sleep. Sometimes sleep is the best meditation because y'all's minds are so busy. And I get it. I have some crazy days like that, especially with Aquarius. Like, oh, that Venus at the last day of Aquarius, my mind was like, did I make the right decision? What am I doing? No. Like, God. And you guys are mutable earth, so air, so it's like you got a lot of like mental energy going. And the tarot is saying like slow it down, go get calm and quiet, allow your body to heal. Allow this full moon to heal and bring you to a state of peace. This is getting answers. Four of Swords is getting answers in that meditative quiet space. Now for you, Gemini, this, sorry, it helps me to look at the phone, even though I don't have it on Gemini, I can at least piece it together more. Well, I can't really see it from there. So Gemini in the first, that puts Sag. Well, first off, you have the North Node in your sign. And so this is really like needing to focus on yourself and not get pulled off by your partnerships, okay? 1. And then 2, Capricorn is in your 8th house, which is speaking to intimate relationships and intimate moments that can go either way. They can be painful at times, but take it back to the intimacy, let it transform, so let it go, or if it's you find the jewels there and the gold there, and it's something that makes sense for destiny, right? And is twin-like, then this Mars in your spiritual house, your 12th house, trining over to that Pluto in the 8th, is really speaking to letting go of what has been, painful, or allowing transformation to take place to something that is spiritually connected and beautiful, with that Mars trining Pluto. And so that's that part for you. Now this full moon in Virgo, so we have Capricorn in the 8th, that would be Aquarius in the 9th, and then Oh, no, no, wait, sorry. It's so weird to go backwards sometimes. Yeah. Capricorn, Aquarius in the ninth, and then Pisces in the 10th house, which is your career. So we're dealing with the career house and the home and family for this full moon for you. And I don't know why I just thought about that. I could have remembered from the last one. So home and family, if it's emotionally draining or not resonating, release what you can, change your perception, change your mind, see if that works, because the mind rules the emotions. And need some water. I'm like drinking coffee. I don't drink as much coffee. It's making me fidget. I don't need coffee at all, but sometimes it's just like habits. And so, yeah, this full moon is in your 4th house of home, family, tribe. So we're going from traditional families, you know, where belief systems have changed. It's a split of the world. We're living in the times of revelations, of the change of the world. So if you're holding on to family situations that aren't working, or friends that are not, it's not flowing for your path, as long as it's being emotionally supportive for you to do your light work in some kind of form or another, then that's beautiful, right? But this is about emotionally connecting to what and releasing what, how you're serving, what's good for your health, and what you're emotionally connected to. Okay? It's also speaking to the opposite with the full moon is the opposing with the sun and the moon, right? And so it's speaking to what you're building spiritually from your heart and with your relationships, because the sun and Venus are both in Pisces, getting closer. So, yeah, what are you building in your career, in your power, and your authority, having to do with your heart space, your soul, your spiritual connection, and the relationships that you can build there for. And be open. You know, we all need to be open to new possibility and to new relationships that resonate, because that is the flow of these times. And I believe on YouTube, the Leo King has something where he talks about home and family on his tour that was in, I think that one was in Tennessee. And I recommend watching that. And so, let's see, Gemini. Yeah, make sure you're bringing it back to yourself, not so much your partnerships, you know, spiritually connect to the right relationships, but don't get pulled off. And that's all year for you. Don't get pulled away in partnerships and legal matters and things like that. Do what you got to do, but bring it back to self-care. Like, okay, well, who feels like myself, and who do I identify with? Yeah, so that's all I have for you. Happy full moon, Gemini. And now we have Cancer. Uh-oh, we got the 9 of Swords for you, Cancer. So something's keeping you up at night. Something is worrying you. I'm sorry. So you're probably going through something where you're wanting to, you do have Pluto in your opposing house of your partnership. So you're wanting to feel good. And there may be some pain, some intensity, some uncomfortableness. Relationships are transforming. And with that, your goals, groups, and friendships, taking action towards those, with that Mars there in Taurus, trining over to your partnership house. Just have some goals, understand what groups you want to connect to with those partnerships, and make sure they resonate intimately, and that there is some sort of attraction, like friendships, all of that. If there's not like a fire, you know, and you can talk about the deep things together, then they might not be your tribe. Okay? And so then the full moon is going to be for you in your 4, 5, 6. It's going to be highlighting your 3rd house of communication. And so this is needing to release and let go of ways that you've been communicating, or areas where the communication is not flowing well, it's not emotionally supported. And it's a big deal to like cut out things that aren't working, right? And things that are draining, or like there's restriction. We have days where things are restrictive, but if why keep communicating if they're not communicating back, you know? If it's something worthy and it's something precious and it's just a matter of learning to work together, then that's one thing. But if it's like two different belief systems and on two different paths, that's a sign that that's needing to be let go of, you know? Or, and also the third house is learning new things. And so this has to do with serving and your health and purifying things. So, you know, maybe cleaning up how you communicate, cleaning up your local environment, right? And really looking at, is this best for my health, for my path? Do I have a plan of how I'm serving? And then the opposing with the sun in your ninth house is speaking to that higher mind, the guru, the adventurer, and foreign affairs. So I feel like it'd be a good time for you to really tap into what highlights your heart, of like places that you may want to go and friends that you want to connect to. Maybe it's time to take a trip to a, you know, foreign place, learn a foreign language. The moon is in Virgo, so maybe celebrate this full moon with like cooking a foreign dish and sharing it with friends, you know, or just enjoying yourself. And this really does speak to like Virgo in the third house and a full moon. Like the full moon's peaking that energy, so let go of the unnecessary thinking and worrying, and that's keeping you up at night, whatever that is. Like let go of it, and no matter what it is outwardly, just us doing that to ourselves becomes so, it's not even worth it. It's really not. It affects your body, which is needed to be like more pure, and it is a purifying thing right now, purifying your mind of these worrisome thoughts. Okay, Cancers, like things don't feel good, but it doesn't feel good to worry about them. Like figure the plan out to problem solve it, and allow it to take care of itself. All right, and then we're going to move on to Leos. We got balance. It's a very Libra relationship card. So this full moon for you is going to be, so Leo and then Virgo. So it's going to be in your second house, second and eighth house. So what are you valuing? That, because second house is values and our self-worth, right? It's what feels good, what's bringing us pleasure. And wait, what? I'm like, wait, what? How did I get that? No, that's your second house is Libra. Wait, what? Sorry. Wait, Leo and then Virgo. No. Yeah. Okay, so I'm back. So the Virgo moon is in your second house of Taurus, of your self-value, self-worth. And so we're releasing, you know, what you don't find valuable, or what in your self-worth and value is needing to be released and let go. What have you emotionally taken on that you're just like, I need more, I need to find a balance with this. I need to let go of some of this. It's getting too intense in one way. Now with the nodes, right, and these divine partnerships at play, because this is your second and eighth house. The eighth house is where the spiritual connection is, and in intimate ways. Excuse me. And so if it's been emotionally draining, you know, we do have that south node, and that Gemini, where the Gemini is where you got to go, you got to work, and you got to build and do all that. And the romantic part with the Juno and the south node and the Eros, you know, that part can be draining us. And so maybe that's the balance of like, okay, I need to let go of some of this that I've emotionally picked up. But whatever it is in your life that you're building towards, it may have nothing to do with the nodes. But that is definitely an aspect that we need to pay attention to, the South Node, the North Node, bring it back to, what are you building locally? Have you gotten caught up in the romantic thing or your partner? And what do you need to balance? Have you been giving too much to this partnership and not seeing enough? And do you still value it? Is there still enough value to move forward with it? And is your heart still intimately connected? And are you connected intimately with the right partnerships with Venus and the Sun there? So make sure that it's so cool for you Leo ascendants to have Pisces in the 8th house, because it's like the spiritual connections and they get that intimate part as well, though it could take the harder elements of like escapism and drugs and freaking dark stuff if it wanted. But of the higher light, which I know Leo loves, you guys get to have a real beautiful spiritual intimate relationships with the Sun and Venus conjuncting and coming together. And so this full moon is highlighting those relationships. And Capricorn for you guys is in your is it the 4th? So if we have Virgo in the 2nd, then we have Libra in the 3rd, Scorpio in the 4th, that's right, Sag in the 5th, 6th house. So your everyday work, we have Pluto there, and then Taurus for you guys would be the 10th house, or Leo, and then Cancer, Gemini, 10th house. So it'd be your work environment and taking actions with Mars in the 10th house towards, what did I say? The 6th house. So your career and your job, where you're serving and where your real power and energy are. And maybe that's part of this balance that's coming up for you. But with Mars sextiling or trining over to Pluto, you're able to really transform how you're serving and the fine details of your everyday life and health, and how you're taking action in your career. Okay, so that's real supported right now, that transformation of that passionate push forward. But ultimately, just finding balance with the 2nd and 8th house, I believe, for this full moon. All right, moving on to Virgo. Happy full moon in your sign. We got a reverse 3 of Cups. So Virgo, you're inwardly needing to embody the energy of celebrating, okay? I know life's been hard for a lot of us. Most of us, we've all gone through something, but it's really about finding the littlest things that make you happy, like doing videos make me happy. I feel like I'm serving. You have a need to serve. And on this full moon, you're releasing maybe friends that didn't light up, something that didn't go the way you wanted to, that you really identified with, whether it's a relationship or whatever it is, something that you identified with, that was a partnership, that either maybe inwardly you're finding a celebration and it's just not shown on the outward, or you're just not in that celebratory energy. And so you're dealing with your self-identity with this full moon and your partnerships. And so you want to emotionally release what is not serving your identity. And you want to make sure that your partnerships are of the spiritual soul connection that feel good with the Sun and Venus in that relationship house of Pisces. Okay, so that's the gist of the full moon. Now, for the Mars and Pluto aspect, let's say we got Pisces in the 7th, Virgo to Pisces, so then it's going to be Pisces in the 7th, and it's going to be Aries, so then we have Aquarius in the 6th and the 5th, that's right. So the 5th house of creative energy and your soul and what inspires you has Pluto there. And so taking action to what feels good, with what you're creating. And let's see, Virgo, and in your power and authority in your groups and friends, and taking action towards what you can transform in your creative house, in your romantic house. And that's a let go sometimes, Virgo ascendants. Like if you're needing to let go of a relationship, if it's not doing it for you, if it's not on your path, if there's no spiritual connection and you have totally different value systems, like let it go. And if it is, of course, allow it to transform, you know. All right, and then moving on to Libra. Libra ascendants, we got the Five of Swords. Oh shit. No. So this Five of Swords is a grief and sorrow is the vibe of this card. It's like, I mean, the art is like she lost the battle. But really, when you're dealing with swords, it's mental, you know? So Libras, we have this fucking patterns of the mind that just loop and loop and loop and loop. And it's like, dude, you already fucking like thought about that 1,000 times. And on a Virgo full moon, that brings in even more of the analytical, like over processing. And then with all that Aquarius energy, and for us, we have it in our 4th house, right? And so it's very, very emotional with all of this like air energy and so all this mental energy. And that in itself causes so much restriction and can cause grief, because then it's wearing out your body, you know? And then Libras, we do, like any air signs, talk a lot. And it's like, well, don't waste all your energy talking when you could have put it into a painting or something like that, right? But some of us are going to experience, well, we have this full moon in our 12th house, which is letting things go. It can also be where we're spiritually connecting emotionally, okay? But let go of thoughts that are negative. Like if we're able to create our reality, every thought matters. You know, you're co-creating. We gotta like really manage the thoughts. And so Mars in Taurus for us is the 8th house of our intimacy, and Pluto in Cap is our 3rd or 4th house, depending. It's about the 3rd house, I guess. Libra, Scorpio, Sag, that would be the 4th house. It depends where it cuts off, because I guess Aquarius would be in the 5th house for most Libra ascendants. So that's about like romantic partnerships and inspiration and creative partnership and creative projects. Like if you're overthinking the projects and then you don't get to it, Libra, like we tend to do, like, yeah, but I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do blah, blah, blah. And then you've drained yourself mentally and the heart's no longer involved because you fucking processed the hell out of it. Like, just act. That's always a Libra thing. Like, just take the action, right? And especially in your creative projects, because we're in such like world-changing times, we really want to, you know, what are you going to leave? You know, Libra, your energy is so beautiful and needed for justice and to stand up for those things that you find beautiful and that you can create. And especially with the ruling planet of Venus, you know. And so don't overthink, get out of that, because that in itself can cause you grief. Now this moon for you is, again, it's in your spiritual house, so connect spiritually and release what is not in alignment. And 6th house, Pisces, spiritually serving. How are we spiritually serving? And are you showing up, or have you thought about it so much that it's causing your whole path grief and everyone you're connected to? And so the 6th house is, how are you serving health and purity comes up. Okay, so maybe do a detox cleanse, drink more water, you know, whatever it is you feel. But this is highlighting your everyday work, your daily task, your job, your service to others, and your spiritual work, big time. Okay. All right, Libra. And then we got Scorpio. Scorpio, you got the Prince of Pentacles. So the Prince of Pentacles, that's like the Knight of Pentacles. So really moving forward with money and relationships and being able to feel good, which is awesome. Yay, yay. So Scorpio, for you guys, this full moon is going to be in your, so it'd be Scorpio, Libra, it'd be in your 11th house. And that's your goals, your groups, and your friendships. And so letting go of what doesn't resonate and what may be emotionally taking from you, because it is a release. And then aligning more with the 5th house. Let me check that. Scorpio, Sag, Cap, Aquarius. Wait, Scorpio, Sag, Cap, Aquarius, and Pisces. Yeah. So what you're creatively have your heart into spiritually that you can create right now, creative projects, romantic partnerships as well come up for you, Scorpio. And so yeah, it's really making sure your heart is in your projects and that they're spiritually connected, as well as the relationships with Venus there. Very romantic time for you guys. And letting go of whatever groups, humanitarian efforts you've been involved in. Okay. Now for you with, let's see, Scorpio and then Taurus. So taking action in what partnerships feel good. And let's see, because Taurus would be in your 7th house. And then Scorpio, let's see, Sag, where was Cap? 3rd house. So it's really about being able to transform the communication, the way you're communicating with your partnerships. That's going to help this full moon as well. And that is really moving things forward with your, I think, with your partnerships at this time. All right. Aw, who's this lucky person? Sagittarius. Sag, how beautiful. You got the 2 of Cups. And you do have the South Node in your sign with Juno. Very romantic partnerships. And then for you, the Gemini North Node is in your partnership house. So I think that's really beautiful. I hope that you are in that 2 of Cups energy where you're able to connect on a soul level. And I hope that it's your true divine union, and you know, maybe you're just being taught to build, or maybe you're building together. Either way, it's a precious, beautiful gift, and that's a soulmate love. And so for you, Sagittarius, so that makes Scorpio in your 12th, Libra in your 11th, Virgo in your 10th. So releasing where you're wasting your energy, and maybe emotionally needing to redo the career area, and how it's serving. You know, are you serving in your career? Is it involved in health and wellness? Is it you know, there's a purifying service to others aspect with your career, and or your power and your energy and how you're using it. So at this full moon peak, you want to release the thought process, the energy that's not serving you in that environment, or go ahead and change careers. And I mean, I'm not trying to advise you to change careers just because of a moon, but if it is a continual project, issue, then this is a good time to release and to make those changes emotionally. And then we have the sun in the 5th house or 4th house of home and family. And so this is really cool for being able to find that soul connection that is part of your home and family and tribe. And especially with having this card. Oh, I'm so excited for you guys. So this full moon is really bringing beautiful connections for you. And it's so amazing to be able to discover what we have available when our heart is open and can actually connect to another soul. I love that for you, Sag. And then, ooh, so Sag Capricorn has the Six of Cups. Capricorn, for you, this full moon is happening in your 9th house of foreign affairs and foreign lands and adventure and the guru. And so letting go of anything that's draining your emotions so you can get back to a balanced emotional state, because it is a release for this full moon. Like everything has peaked and then we're needing to like, okay, I was worried about this past lunar cycle. It was really starting to build so much, and now I'm going to release that and clear that and move on to focusing more on this part of the building in these foreign areas, or in this taking on this adventure, and really allowing it to be a blessing of a balanced state of emotional bliss. And so the opposing is going to be the Sun in Pisces in the 3rd house. And that is really speaking to the soul being able to express itself and communicate. And, communicate from your heart. Like, if your heart's not involved, don't do it. If you're just mentally doing it, it becomes robotic, We want to keep our souls involved. And sometimes it's hard, And so Capricorn, you have Pluto in your 1st house still. I know things have felt a lot better for you guys as the energy has moved and it's not so heavy on you. However, Pluto's still there. So with that trine from Pluto to Mars and Taurus, Taurus for you is going to be, it has to do with transforming your identity. And let's see, we've got Cancer in the 7th. So then it's going to be Taurus in the 8th house. No. Gemini. And then, wait. Taurus. So, sorry. Capricorn, Cancer. So if we go Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Okay. Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries. So 5th house. Your 5th house is Taurus. And so that's really speaking to romance and creative projects and taking action towards those. Wait, that can't be right. Cancer. Oh, yeah. Flip it. Capricorn. Right, that's right. Sorry. I'm sorry. So Cancer, Gemini, Taurus. Yeah, I was going the wrong direction. Your partnerships and romantic partnerships can really transform right now as you take like the passion and drive towards them. Okay, and let's see. Ooh, we've got Aquarius, 2 of Swords. You're in your mind too much. You need to make a decision on this full moon. Aquarius for you. Leo in the 7th. How beautiful. So then that brings, let's see, Leo and then Virgo. So the full moon for you is in your 8th house, which can bring us some like night terrors and some mental trouble, especially if Virgo's there, overthinking and analyzing. So you need to, again, release and make a decision and release what isn't working. Make a decision for the highest part. Is it bringing you down? Have you found the gold there? Is it able to transform? Is it on your path? And is it like soul connected, And so with this full moon, let's see, Aquarius and then Pisces in the 2nd. Yeah, so your soul is needing to make sure that it's being valued. Okay, so as you make this decision on this full moon of what you're releasing, that's been painful, and it's probably been intense and causing you to overthink it. Serve yourself and your own health by making a decision and releasing if it can't be transformed, and seeing if you can transform this relationship that's intimate. And make sure that it's from your heart space and soul space that you find the value and self-worth. And that's Aquarius. And then we move on to the lovely Pisces. Pisces, this is such a Piscean card. The Princess of Cups, the Mermaid. This is speaking to subconscious patterns. Now with the Sun and Venus in your sign, you're really starting to identify with your spiritual connections from the heart, soul connections, and the partnerships that you need to release during this Virgo moon that aren't serving you, that aren't of the best health. Oh, I already started with you guys, didn't I? Well, you got an extra one. Let's make this for everybody. Be the Piscean. Check into your dream world and your subconscious patterns. That's funny. I was going to redo. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end it. I don't know how long the video has, so love you guys, and I hope you enjoyed that, and happy full moon. And I hope that you look at the beautiful moon and use this time on a whole. It's a spiritual moon. It's a spiritual sun, and our soul is in the spiritual house, releasing and healing subconscious patterns, letting things go. And Virgo's bringing those spiritual relationships of the heart into the practical world and releasing what's not serving us and coming up with a plan that's better for our health and how we're serving. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you soon. Peace.